Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. I had a heck of a time keeping up on news today. There was quite a bit. It was just pretty much nonstop all throughout the day. But I noticed something, and I know that other YouTube channels, alternative news, are pointing it out as well. This is insane how much they are I don't want to say covering up. I don't know that that's quite the right word for it. I do want to use the term whitewashing. However, I would probably be accused of being racist or something. But this whole thing with the Waukesha Massacre, and that's what I'm going to call it. It's like the media, they don't even really want to talk about it, and when they do, when their headlines are just all completely cleansed of any of the reality of the situation. And it's mind-blowing to me, especially after, and I know it's been actually, a year and a half or whatever, but I mean, especially during the Rittenhouse trial, we had 3 weeks of a witch hunt to where blatant lies were told. Blatant lies, and they knew it. And now we have an incident, and yeah, you could call it an incident, but it's, in many cases being called accident or crash or, it's insane. And so real quick, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up web browser real quick, and I'm going to show you. If I can, here we go. I got it right here. Waukesha Parade. That's all I'm putting in. That's it. Waukesha Parade. And here it says, and I'm not going to read all the headline, just the part we're looking for. Waukesha Holiday Parade Tragedy. There they just call it a tragedy. I'm not sure what they're going to call this. Tragedy. Okay, but it does say this was an intentional act. At least the headline has that. Let's see what this one called it. You can't read all the headlines. This one called it an incident, which even that, without any context is really, it's just absolutely not even remotely describing what happened. I mean, this is, and the more information that comes out about this situation, the absolute more intentional that it, appears. And man, this dude, apparently he was, I guess, arrested for, I think he called it a bomb threat or something to a casino. And if I'm not mistaken, he was arrested for that. And I think he had to do probation, and I don't know. But this dude has a history of doing this stuff. Of course, we've already talked about how he had tried running over a woman and was arrested for that. In fact, that was even more recent. This dude, he had several posts, like social media posts, indicating hatred towards white people, and I just think it's mind-blowing that you've got so many different media outlets that are just kind of, like I say, they're wanting to just call it an accident or a tragedy, but they why is it that they're doing it that way? Now here I see a headline, Fox News calling it a rampage, and that's certainly accurate. But right here, hang on. Right here, AP News. Child is sixth death in Waukesha parade crash. Suspect charged, right? And I didn't go, like, I'm on page 1. This is just scroll down a little bit. AP called it a crash. We'll go to page 2. We'll see. Wow. There's sure is a gap there before anything. This calls an attack. This is a Catholic outlet though, so and considering that a member of the clergy was injured in that, I'm sure they would have that outlook. Here once again, call it a tragedy, even though that's heavy, and heavy is often right on the edge of information. In fact, that's where I was watching for information myself. Okay, let's see what USA Today calls it. Tragedy. They call it a tragedy. Yeah, it's hit and miss. WISN called it a parade crash. How do you even remotely call that a crash? I don't get that. But that's what I wanted to point out. And I mean, this is early on into it, and they're already kind of trying to let the story go. If you notice here, let me go back to page 1 here. If you notice, this one was 12 minutes ago last updated, but day ago, 21 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 23, 3 days ago, 13 hours ago, 5 hours, 2 days, 2 hours, 2 days. So you see what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of coverage on it to begin with, and the coverage they are putting out, many of the outlets are really trying to lessen the emotional impact that the story should have on people. I think that it should have on people. I think that they need to be right up front. I mean, man, to not call this a terror-related event, that is insane. That is insane. It's just nuts. I mean, like I say, the dude was arrested for calling a bomb threat to a casino. Now, can you not be charged for making a terroristic threat by calling in a bomb threat? I do believe you can. So you're telling me that you could be charged for, under terrorism laws for calling in a bomb threat, but you can't be charged with terrorism for running over a bunch of people in a parade? Huh. I'm not, it's clear that it was an intentional act. And in my opinion, that's all you need to know. That is truly all you need to know, is that somebody intentionally drove an SUV into a parade to maim and kill as many people as they could. Do you need anything else to call it an act of terror? I don't think so. I just think it's nuts. And anyway, I just I hope it I hope that this actually gets enough attention that this guy at least gets sentencing that he deserves. Because I have a feeling that there's a good chance you'll hear little to nothing about this guy again. It's nuts. Anyway, I got a bunch of headlines up here that I was going to go over with you. And then, of course, I've got the usual headlines. And just going to go run through those and get the heck out of here for the night. So, my nose is all stuffed up. And don't worry, I don't got the vid. I haven't been in contact with anybody other than Jen. And she wouldn't COVID me, bro. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Alright, I thought this was an interesting headline that I saw this morning. As you see there, Trump meets Rittenhouse and calls him a nice young man. Bigley. No, I don't know if there was any more adjectives put there, but called him a nice young man. The article here, not a whole lot. Of course, they're not going to write a whole lot. Says the 45th U.S. President Donald Trump has met with Kyle Rittenhouse, who was recently acquitted by a jury in the trial over the fatal shootings of last year's BLM protest and riots in Kenosha. In an interview aired on Tuesday night, Trump told Fox News' Sean Hannity that a little while ago, Rittenhouse left his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. He wanted to know if he could come over, say hello, because he was a fan, Trump said. He came over with his mother, a really nice young man. The former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., tweeted a photo of his father and Rittenhouse both smiling and holding thumbs up. Let's see. Speaking to Hannity, Trump shared his views on the trial. Rittenhouse, this is the quote he said. That was prosecutorial misconduct. He should not have had to suffer through a trial for that. He was going to be dead. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time and carried an AR-15 style rifle. Well, you already know all the story. Let me, I hate when they keep repeating stuff that you know. Okay, this here says Trump refused to condemn Rittenhouse at the time and congratulated the teenager after acquittal. If that's not self-defense, nothing is, he wrote in an email to supporters. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. And, you know, if that isn't enough to make liberal heads go poof, 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 you know, because, like, it's like popcorn, right? If that's not enough alone, Rittenhouse tapped for congressional gold medal. What's that I hear? Pop, 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 pop. That's right. U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling for teenager, and given that it's a nutbag that's calling for it, but anyway, is calling for teenager Kyle Rittenhouse, fresh from his acquittal on homicide charges, to be awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for protecting his community from rioters. Greene introduced a bill that calls for awarding the prestigious medal to Rittenhouse because he protected the community of Kenosha, Wisconsin during a Black Lives Matter riot on August 25, 2020. The legislation comes after at least two other Republicans in Congress, Representatives Matt Gaetz in Florida and Madison Cawthorn, North Carolina, made internship offers to Rittenhouse. The Congressional Gold Medal marks the highest honor that Congress can award. Recent recipients have included police officers who defended the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th riot and American troops who were killed by a terrorist bombing during the Pentagon's chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan in August. Let's see. And you know all that. Greensville is only the latest salvo in the political battle over a case that President Joe Biden and other Democrats held up as an example of white supremacy, even though Rittenhouse and all three of the men he shot were white. And vigilantism, Biden reacted, to last Friday's verdict by saying he was angry and concerned, and Vice President Kamala Harris said the jury's decision showed that there's still a lot of work to do in making the U.S. criminal system more equitable. I don't know how that could have been any more equitable. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not having a prosecutor that acted like that might have made it a little more equitable. Maybe. Anyway, that we already covered as well. So, it's just absolute stupidity. But it can be outdone. I don't mean him getting a Congressional Gold Medal, but I mean the whole, like it was said, it should have never went to trial. It should have never went to trial. Had a bunch of people, I think, trying to, prove a point. Pardon me. I think I hear a car alarm somewhere. Oh no, the end is nigh. Or at least somebody's getting their cassette deck stolen. I doubt it'll get stolen if it's a cassette deck. Alright, most kids these days wouldn't even know what the hell that was. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I know I don't want it. Alright, so on this front of things, and when I say this front, I'm talking about vaccine, COVID, nightmare stuff. You've already heard that you should instead opt for tofurkey this year, which I'm gonna pass on the tofurkey. We're just gonna have some steaks and I don't know, some shells and cheese and broccoli, and I don't know if I'll make anything else. No need. I mean, why? But anyway, they are saying skip the turkey. They're still trying to convince people to give up their turkey, and I'm not giving it up because they're telling me to give it up or anything like that. It's just going to be us. I'm not going to go through the damn trouble of cooking a whole turkey for me and her. And the only way I would is if I had a turkey fryer. And then it'd be on. I'm telling you, it'd be definitely on. But it is what it is. Not a big deal to me. I don't think it's a big deal to her. So, anyway, they're saying, like I said, skip the turkey, that you should test your guests for COVID. So, make sure you have those test strips handy. And either that or just take two regular Q-tips and tape them together so you got one long Q-tip, and just ram it up the nose, right, until you get a couple of spots of blood. And then you know you've got it up far enough to take the test. Don't do this. Never take medical advice from me. Not even if it amounts to putting on a Band-Aid. So anyway, yeah, they're still carrying on about this, but in all seriousness, WHO came out and they're warning about the unintended effect of vaccines. Now, you may think, oh, and you may be, no, not that, or I should say those unintended effects, not those. No, they're not going to talk about those. The ones they're talking about is, it says right here, the World Health Organization chief has warned vaccinated people to remain cautious when it comes to catching COVID-19 and not fall into a sense of security. It says in many countries and communities, we are concerned about the false sense of security that vaccines have ended the pandemic, that people who are vaccinated do not need to take any other precautions. The WHO's Director General Tedros Adhanom, I can't say that name, said Wednesday at a press conference on the COVID-19 crisis in Europe. Tedros warned that was kind of loud. Tedros warned that no country or region is out of the woods and underlined the importance of making sure that the right measures are in place to avert the worst consequences of any future waves. He also called for proper sharing of the fruits of science. On Tuesday, the WHO starkly predicted that more than 2 million people might die of COVID-19 in Europe over the coming winter, and that most of the countries, let's see. I looked away and now I can't find where I was. Most of the countries could see their health systems overwhelmed by the surge. It says, in light of coronavirus numbers spiraling across the region, the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control made the decision to change its previous stance on booster vaccines, now recommending them for all adults. Austria has already entered a new national 10-day lockdown, while other countries, including Germany, are mulling new restrictive measures and even mandatory vaccination. This week, U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued travel advisories telling Americans to avoid travel to Germany and Denmark due to high-risk COVID situation. So you've got that going on that side of the whole ordeal here. And on this side of the whole ordeal, you've got hundreds of Google employees responding to the vaccine mandate. How, you might ask? And I'm just running through these, and I'm going to make it an easy, quick night and get the heck out of here. Let's see. Hundreds of Google employees are opposing the company's extensive COVID-19 vaccine mandate, complicating its efforts to move back to in-office work. A manifesto blasting the mandate has been signed by more than 600 employees, according to CNBC. In the document, the workers demand the tech firm present an alternate mandate that is inclusive of all Googlers, that are also urging their colleagues to oppose getting vaccines out of principle in the face of looming deadlines. While a U.S. federal mandate for employers is currently tied up in litigation, Google has taken President Joe Biden's advice on board and is implementing the requirement anyway. The company asked over 150,000 employees in the U.S. to upload their vaccination status to an internal system by December 3rd, while any medical or religious exemptions must be filed earlier. Google requires any employees who will work directly or indirectly with government contracts to get jabbed, whether they work remotely or not. Much of the tech company's staff was moved to remote working during the coronavirus pandemic, and officials within the company now say the vaccine efforts are an attempt to enable a safe return to its offices. In a statement responding to criticism of the mandate, the company showed no signs of budging, saying, "We firmly stand behind the vaccine policy." Starting in January, Google employees are expected to be working in person at their offices at least part-time each week. According to the manifesto, Google's mandate goes too far in including employees who work remotely. In an email sent to employees, Chris Rackow, the company's vice president of global security, reportedly said regular testing would not be a sufficient alternative to jabs for these employees. The manifesto writers also argued that Google could be encouraging discrimination, as not being vaccinated would be one of the few reasons to be barred from the company's workspaces. It justifies the principle of division and unequal treatment of Googlers based on their personal beliefs and decisions, the manifesto reads. The implications are chilling. So that's nuts, right? That's nuts. But check this out. You don't even have the right to die in some countries if you don't have the vax. That's right. Assisted death only for the vaccinated. So if you didn't get the jab, they aren't going to help kill you. That's what it says. It says anyone wishing to be euthanized now has to first present proof of vaccination or recovery from COVID, as per the new guidelines issued by Germany's Euthanasia Association. A statement put out by Hamburg-based group on Friday reads, assisted suicide and the preliminary examination of a patient's ability to make decisions freely implies physical closeness between people. However, that is precisely the precondition for the spread of COVID. In February 2020, Germany's top court overturned a ban on providing euthanasia as unconstitutional. A number of German regions have put in place strict curbs banning the unvaccinated from most public places. Across the country, only recovered or inoculated people can enter restaurants, museums, and similar venues, while those even with a negative COVID test cannot. Amid the surge in cases, the German states of Saxony and Bavaria have both canceled all Christmas markets. German Chancellor Angela Merkel told her fellow party members on Monday that the current wave of COVID in Germany was worse than any previous one and called for stricter measures to contain it. The country's health minister, Jens Spahn, went even further, claiming that by the end of this winter, everyone in Germany will be either vaccinated, recovered, or dead. Those statements came as the 7-day infection rate per 100,000 people broke a new grim record on Wednesday, reaching the 404.5 mark, as reported by Germany's Disease Control and Prevention Authority, the Robert Koch Institute. Anything that's Koch, I question. You know, the Koch family, that is. Of course, you have to question what kind of tissues or whatever they used in Coca-Cola drinks, and then you always have to question what they cut your cocaine with. Sorry. All right, I thought this was kind of insane. Walmart in hot water over toy singing about cocaine. Now you know why I said that. U.S. retailer Walmart has pulled an educational toy from its online store after complaints that it spits out profanities and sings about drugs, says media reports. This toy uses swear words and talking about cocaine use. Ania Tanner, a Canadian originally from Poland and the grandmother of a 15-month-old child, told CTV News Toronto. The woman bought the toy, a dancing cactus that sings songs in English, Spanish, and Polish on Walmart's website. Tanner said she was shocked to hear the song in her native tongue, Polish, which spoke about doing cocaine, drug abuse, suicide, and depression while using profanities. The song is by Polish rapper Cypus, who is reportedly planning to sue the toy's manufacturer for using his song without permission. Walmart reacted swiftly to the news, removing the toy from its website. However, the rapping cactus is still being sold on a number of online marketplaces worldwide, while complaints about its peculiar choice of music date back to July. So, if you went in on the rapping cactus, you'll have to look elsewhere other than Walmart. We got to put a name on it. Robbie. Robbie the Rapping Cactus. All right. We have a couple of sips of coffee here and a couple of vapes, and we'll do more headlines. I'm going to keep bumping the mic. I kind of changed how I had it situated. I like it better, but the boom's in my way more now. But now I can read. I can actually see the screen while I'm talking, so that's a plus. All right. Starting out with news I put out this morning. Civilians killed in Israeli strike on Syria, says state TV. SpaceX and NASA launched planetary defense asteroid smasher. High-profile anti-vaxxers offered chance to see patients in COVID hospital red zones. It's absolutely insane. Major oil-consuming nations follow drastic U.S. move. U.S. and U.K. to share classified submarine data with Australia under AUKUS. I thought that was kind of messed up. A white nationalist rally victims awarded compensation. On this, I mean, I understand some classified information is going to have to be shared, but, I'm sure you don't have to give them the whole gambit. Musk issues final warning to J.P. Morgan. UK deceit in hostage situation acknowledged after 3 decades. Oh, coffee's getting me. Killing police to result in mandatory life sentence. That's in the UK. Talked about that. German Greens slam new U.S. sanctions on Nord Stream 2. Pupils' yellow badges for mask exemption spark Nazi comparisons. That's in Britain. Assisted death only for... we covered that, sorry. Biden's bid to lower oil prices fails. Good job, Captain Obvious. Russia's Gazprom warns Moldova it may cut off energy supply within hours over unpaid debts. And then they back down. So, we'll get to that. Australia slaps terrorist label on all of Hezbollah. Culprit in F-35 crash allegedly identified. You know what it was? It was one of the covers, the big red covers that says, remove before flight. Yeah, guess what? Somebody didn't remove it before flight, and it got sucked into the engine. Good job. Armenian PM warns of possible new war with Azerbaijan. Southeast Asia's largest bank brought to its knees. Downing Street comments on Johnson's health after Peppa Pig speech. Pentagon creates new UFO task force. A rape suspect bounced off a window trying to flee. Yeah, he tried to escape, and it wasn't like real long, real apparent or anything like that. But you could hear, you could definitely hear the cop laugh when he bounced off the window. I'd have been rolling. Let's see. Politician under fire after saying fake vaccine certificate buyers should be shot. That was in Russia. People getting paid to push racist shit, says ex-NBA star and defends Kyle Rittenhouse. That was Kwame Brown, if I'm saying his name correctly. A nation's parliament set ablaze by raging protesters. Prince William concerned by African population growth. Putin's people book defamed tycoon Let's see. Abramovich, British court finds. AstraZeneca boasts about UK hospitalizations rate. Biden Summit for Democracy snubs major international players. Have a sip of coffee here. Walmart in hot water over toy singing. Oh, we covered that, sorry. Putin says he's trialed Russia's new nasal COVID-19 vaccine. Refugees near Belarusian border must be moved to save lives, says the UN. Biden summit is old propaganda rhetoric, Oliver Stone tells RT. UK denies moving its largest tank training base to the Middle East. Apple halts sales in Turkey. New German government to legalize cannabis. I thought that was interesting. Germany's choice of new chancellor confirmed. America is attempting to privatize democracy, claims the Kremlin. Well, yeah, and put a big old trademark and register it and copyright on it, the American way. Taliban reveals agenda of upcoming talks with Washington. Moldova won't be cut off from Russian gas despite unpaid bills, says Gazprom. I told you they backed down. Let's see. Russia registers COVID-19 vax for teenagers. Some tropical bees started choosing raw meat over nectar. I thought that was kind of an interesting headline. New documents shed light on Jeffrey Epstein's time in jail. Russian Olympic boss clarifies vaccine rules for youngsters at Beijing Games. J.P. Morgan chief regrets China jibe. He apparently, I guess, made a joke. Now he's got to go all apologetic. COVID compliance hits rock bottom in England. Let's see. Stop aggression towards Russians in America, Moscow warns in draft statement. Did a report on that. Free speech row erupts in Norwegian journalist arrested by World Cup host Qatar. Sputnik vaccine developer explains how children react to the COVID-19 jab. Met officers fired over behavior at murder scene. WHO warns... cover that one. U.S. issues veiled threat over Iran's nuclear program. A gay Santa Claus ad causes controversy. Apparently it's an ad in Norway. A family of Capitol rioter who died by overdose demands autopsy review. Countries told not to prioritize children for vaccines. Torchlit march against COVID health passes. That was in Switzerland. A far-right Ukrainian official claims anti-vaxxers paving way for Russian invasion. Government orders masks and COVID passes for children to save Christmas. Sweden's first female PM resigns hours after being elected. A long-term efficacy of Russian Sputnik 5 jab revealed. Former top Navalny staffer leaves Russia. Plastics factory fire causes hellish inferno in Yorkshire. Dozens dead after migrant boat capsizes. That was off the coast of France. Russia's top security official says West responsible for destroying Ukraine. This is crazy. A woman sues a doctor for letting her be born. Yeah. 3 men found guilty of murdering black jogger. I'm sure you've all heard that. Covered that. Nuclear plant accident results in casualties. To my knowledge, it's not radioactive in nature. New Russian docking module, Prickle, blast off into space, and I'm sure I got the name wrong. Sounded good with Prickle, though. Gaddafi's son blocked from Libya election. Biden may turn migrants but offer them free COVID jabs. May turn away migrants but offers them free COVID jabs. Of course. And by free, he means you'll pay for them. Let's see, covered that. And there's a one up there, so. White House shares details of Biden's colonoscopy. Man, I'll tell you what. We're blessed. I mean, I know we were hoping for the JFK files, but this is way better. Huh. Man, that's nuts. Nobody cares, Joe. Nobody cares. Anyway, I am, on that note, gonna get the hell out of here because I don't know what to follow that up with. I'm gonna slide out. Probably not a good way to describe leaving, but anyway, God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I do plan on doing a show tomorrow evening, so God willing, we'll be back tomorrow to do it. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And happy Thanksgiving. Have a good night.